Alright, so last time I made a video about an Amara build, and here is another Amara build. What do you know? And this build is drastically different from the last one. This build is for people who either don't have the driver mod or just don't want to play with the driver mod, because with the driver you're basically required to move extremely fast all the time, and that kind of playstyle is not for everyone. You know, it could be hard to shoot, or you don't like just damaging yourself with dots, or for whatever reason you don't enjoy playing with spiritual driver. Well, here's a good alternative to that build. And this build I would call the OG Amara build, because basically before the driver comes out, everyone's using the phaser. And yeah, so let's talk about skill tree. The red tree basically didn't change from last time. One in infusion, so that your gun can, like guns like recursions, can have bonus ricocheting projectiles, and 3 here just for some bonus accuracy. And these points are pretty much self-explanatory. Nothing different from the last time. So let's move on. The biggest change is that we're now speccing full into blue tree with 3 points here, 1 point to each of them, and 3 points to transcend, which will give you crazy crit damage buffs. And if you don't know, this skill can actually stack. So if I put on phase cast real quick, you can see we have 1 stack of transcend. Now it's 2 stacks, and now it's 3. And yeah, so this skill, it can stack, and when you have like 2 stacks or 3 stacks, you're gonna get crazy crit hit damage bonus, which is always good. And we're speccing into restless because with this build, you're no longer fake grasping. You're always gonna actually face grasp enemy, so you want your action skill to be back as fast as possible. And ascendance, so that stillness of mind can lock people for like 6 seconds, which is really great. And 3 point into all of these skills. This one pretty much self-explanatory, gives you more damage. This thing too, it's yeah, this skill alone gives you 40% bonus damage, which is crazy to me. And this skill improves fire rate and charge up time. It's not really necessary. The bonuses are kind of limited too, but there's not a whole lot of other good skills anyway, so just put in here. If you want, you can put into here to increase rush stack effectiveness, but I don't think it's gonna do that much, to be honest with you. At 1 point into Remnant, this skill is actually insane. It's basically the Guardian rank perk Overkill, but transformed into a homing like rocket projectile. So yeah, you only need 1 point in there, because extra point is just gonna increase damage from like 1,000 to 2,000, which is basically nothing. The point here is to use the overkill damage for this skill, and sometimes like it's really easy to hit millions of damage just with like the ball created with this skill. So definitely use that. And Avatar, it gives you 10 bonus rush stacks, and because Phaserker's damage bonus is based on your rush stacks, having as much rush stacks as possible is always great. So here, when you activate your action seal, you're gonna have 25 rush stacks, which transform into 75% bonus weapon damage and 250% bonus action skill cooldown rate. So yeah. And lastly, there's 3 points remaining. Just spec into personal space for a little bit of extra damage. And yeah, that's this build. Weapon-wise, it's not so different. What's good with last build is also good with this one. Like the 9-volt, Kids Wars, Insiders, Cutsmans, Hellshock, Eldridians, Recursions, all are good. But with this build, you're not gonna be using Elemental Projector because unlike the driver mod, you cannot self-dot with the Phaserker, so it's basically pointless to put on the Elemental Projector. You're not gonna get any bonus damage. Now, the Pearl is nerfed, but still it's way better than using the Elemental Projector because there is just no way that you're actually going to be dotted at all. So yeah, just if you don't want the Pearl, you can also just put on like Snowdrifts or whatever. Just don't use the Elemental Projector, it's not worth it. And Grenade Shield wise, same thing. And yeah, let's just take this build to the takedown and see how it does. So let's check the modifiers. Bonus cryo damage. Buy some ammo real quick. And let's just go. So for me personally, I like the driver build better because you can run like super fast. And yeah, with this build, the difference is that you're not gonna be running as fast. Wait, let's see this ball. Oh, didn't actually reach, but whatever. What about that ball? Didn't reach also. Oh well. Doesn't make a difference. And here, just it's the same thing. Use recursions, and you can actually face grab these guys now, which is good. So the door is open, and let's see if we can one-shot the Kraken this time. Well, not really the one shot I was hoping for. Oh my god. You know what? I'm gonna have to switch to custom for this one. And let's just clear these mobs so I can check what dropped. Devastator. And boring. That's 200k for the ball, which is not as much as I thought it would deal. I've seen it deal like as much as 5 million damage, so whatever. Well, I just hate it when these Valkyries move around. So one of the downside really, not with the build, but like with this run, I'm actually trying to figure out whether like ultimately this build is better or the driver build's better. But because things are just dying so quick anyway for both build, I can't really say right now which build is better. But from my personal view, I definitely like the driver build better because I just like moving faster. Let's grasp this guy. And jump down. Yeah, and this build kind of sucks in this like bridge area because with the driver you can just run crazy through all of this, but because this build doesn't have any movement speed, it takes a while to pass this area. Alright, well we're finally here. Wait, what? Oh. I think that actually another benefit of this build is that it's gonna perform better when you're in fight for your life. Because if you don't know, you actually lose all your driver's self-dot when you're in fight for your life. And also because in fight for your life you move extremely slow, all of that. So when you're using the driver build, when you go down, it's actually going to be kind of risky. Because you're gonna lose like a lot of damage. But with this build you wouldn't worry that much about going down. What, 2 soul burns? Okay. So this is actually my first time doing this build, like playing it in the takedown. I think one of the problems is that it's going to suck at the Wotan fight. Because seriously, this build doesn't have a whole lot of bossing element in it. Like the majority of the build relies on using ties that bind and phase grasp to like chain damage to mobs, that kind of thing. So when it's like against bosses, it's not gonna be as good as the driver build. Oh my god. Wait, what? Oh, okay. Well, I didn't kill the bottom half this time, but whatever. I really hate the bottom half for just jumping around. It's really messy. But as you can see, we actually take quite a while to kill the bottom half. With the driver build, when the bottom half is staying still, we can basically use the custom to 1 mag him, but see there it took like what, 3 mags? So yeah, this build is not going to be all that great with bossing, but you know, again, this is really just an alternative to the last build I talked about. If you don't have the driver or you just don't want to play like super fast. And this build also works. Show the skill tree again. And yeah. Nothing good really. It really sucks when the takedown shakedown event in. Before you can just get like tons of, I don't even get like a single takedown exclusive drop from this. Oh, actually 0.8. Fine. Yeah, so that's gonna be it for the video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.